I am that I am. Professor Adamus, Saint-Germain, in service to you. What a great way to start the new year. Finally, a good cup of tea. A well-colored and manufactured tie, and a decent song for once. Although I'm a bit surprised that they took out the word bullshit. How could you have macchio without the bullshit? The song is so kind, so gentle. And you have to undo all that. So, dear friends, let's take a breath, good deep breath together. We have a lot to cover today. Delight to be here. Caldera couldn't find me earlier, although I was here. Most of you could feel it, but he didn't. The hat patty. You knew it was coming. So, for those listening in online today, first time, this is not your thank you. This is not your typical bring it on. Yes. This is not your typical spiritual gathering, thank God. Because the typical spiritual gatherings, they do have a lot of macchio, a lot of distortion and distraction. And if that bothers you, you can tune out right now, because that was just the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to cover today. If you're the audience is, for those just listening in, don't have the advantage of seeing their clapping at their extraordinary good looks today. So, dear Shambra, I'll try this one. So, Dave, thank you. Very French. So, dear ones, if you're expecting a traditional spiritual gathering, this is not one.
Are you done with the hats?
No. This is going to go on all. And I do have to tell you also that Linda denied me of the money except for this crinkled $5 bill. So I would give that out right away. It's blessed, it's purified, I breathed on it before, and you, sir, it's for you. It's for you. Now, since I have no more money, you'll be giving it to me today. Yeah. Open up the purses, open up your wallets, just...
I have Adamus Awards.
Oh, you ruined it. Not your typical spiritual gathering. Shambra, this group, anyone listening in, you're not the typical spiritual beings. Why? Because you've gone through so much of the rhetoric, and you've gone through so many of the disciplines, and they work to a degree, but ultimately, it's not out there. You're not going to find this in any belief system, any structure or organization. You're not going to find it in any book. And you've already discovered that. That's why you're here. You're here because you know that it's right in here, Elizabeth. Right within, Kathleen. It's right here. You're here gathered together in this community of God beings to let it come out, to open it up. Let's start our day today with exactly that. Let's start our day with amio. With amio. Amio is the total acceptance and the trust in yourself. Knowing that you are God also, but taking it from an intellectual concept, taking it from a few words in a cliche and really feeling it. Absolutely, every one of you. You're not want-to-be gods. You're not gods in training. Maybe you're gods hiding the fact that you're gods, but indeed you are. Everything that you need everything that you want, everything that you choose to create, every potential of every moment is already within you. I'm not talking about in your physical body, although it is there also. I'm talking it's in your consciousness. Your consciousness is your awareness. But so much of your awareness has been shut down on purpose, and it's been actually for a reason. It wasn't a mistake, Laughing Bear. It wasn't a mistake at all. It was part of the learning and the growing and the expansion and just feeling what it was like to be a human. Even feeling what it was like to be a human going through very difficult situation. And you know, Laughing Bear, it works out, doesn't it? You're finding that out. There's still the challenge and the difficulty. But do you realize what a blessing it has been to release a relationship that was very near and dear to you, but perhaps holding you back and perhaps holding your partner back? And do you realize, Laughing Bear, how much love there still is? A love that goes so deep that both of you on a spiritual level would disconnect on a human level so that you could discover that I am, that God that is within, that's been hiding for a long time. That's amazing. That is love. When two people who have been together for many, many lifetimes and have made oaths and commitments to each other can love each other so much that they let go. Oh, it is painful, I know. It is difficult to let go of those things that have been such a part of your patterns and your life and your history. And to let that go out of total love. Can you, well, let's do it. Can you imagine the love your spirit has for you to allow those things? There's no punishment in any of this. There's no mistakes in any of this. And if I could get that message across to every one of you here today and every one of you listening in, there are no mistakes. What we're going to do, what you're already doing, is beginning to understand the synergy between the human aspect and the soul, between your spirit and your humanness, and to understand the dynamics, now that they're weaving together, now that they're dancing together, how this all works. This will be an amazing year for it. Amazing year. But right now, let's have an Amio moment. I know you've all been busy, challenged, wondering, doubting, or just plain occupied with your day-to-day activities, but let's have an Amio moment right now. That Amio moment is when you just trust and love in yourself. It's the epitome of grace. It's when you let that doubt go. It's when you love yourself. In that Amio moment, you realize that everything is already there. Just needs to be called forth. Every part of your DNA, so much of the DNA has been hidden or elusive, waiting to come out at the right time, waiting to open up, and that's what so many of you are going through right now. A change in your DNA, change in your biology, change in your magnetics. How about you just allow it right now instead of fighting it? How about instead of wondering about what's wrong, taking a moment to understand the perfection of this moment? Let's take a deep breath in our Amio moment. Can you imagine? Oh, yes, you can. I know you can. Can you imagine knowing that there hasn't been a single wrong turn, nothing done wrong, no mistakes in your biology, nothing wrong. It's just the awareness hasn't been there about the true perfection of everything. As the human and the spirit fuse together, as they're doing now, you're going to come to trust yourself, that part that you've called spirit, the God within, but has really actually been quite elusive. As the human and the spirit meld together, you're going to realize you don't need to be defensive, protective, or resistant about anything. You don't have to worry about germs. You don't have to worry about what you call bad thoughts. You don't have to worry about self-destructing. You don't have to worry about, certainly not about going to hell. You've already been there. Wasn't that big of a deal. You don't have to worry about the world around you. So many of you just heap on the worries. Worrying about the world, they're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. You blew up the world at the end of Atlantis in a way. Well, look, you're still here. Magic. Incredible. Because really the part of spirit that's in everything, in you, is always rejuvenating, is always expanding, is always rebalancing. But you know, the human aspect, somewhere along the line, got out of trust with that natural balancing that takes place. It stopped relying on it. There was a lot of brainwashing and hypnosis and all the rest of that stuff that took place. And it got you out of trust. Been an interesting experience. What's it like not to trust yourself? What's it like to wake up in the morning frightened? What's it like to go to bed at night, some nights afraid to close your eyes? Because it's more challenging sometimes than actually having your eyes open. Many of you go to bed or have gone to bed now really just totally going numb, totally erasing everything, not allowing it to come through. When in fact your dreams at night are potent fields of creativity and understanding and wisdom. But this brainwashing has caused you to go to trust with yourself and to fear going out there at night, to fear. I'm programmed to fear the true parts of yourself. That's done and over with now. That's done and over with. At least in this group. Let's have an amio moment. Take a deep breath. Trust yourself. You are God also, and amazing at that. And let's take this moment also to breathe life into your life. No holding back anymore. No just wondering about how things could be, but actually breathing life into your life. Actually letting yourself enjoy life. Oh, it has so much to offer. So much to offer. Just carry on breathing. You should be shadaharing right now. I'm eating. Shadahar. I'm hungry. Been working very hard lately. And there's a lot of energies around, if you haven't noticed. So let's take a deep breath. Breathe life into your life. Breathe life into your potentials. The potentials are all around. They're like bubbles. What happened to my bubble machine?
Susie put it away.
Oh, but then it's okay. But yes, we're going to have a bubble machine here to demonstrate your potentials are like bubbles. New Year's bubbles. So breathe life into those potentials. Billions of potentials in your life, all lined up for you, created by you, for you, waiting for you. You just haven't been aware of them. Been aware of a very limited set of potentials. They're broad. We'll talk about it in a moment. Just take a deep breath. Breathe life into your life. You see, most humans won't and can't do that. Really, try it with some of your, muggle friends. How to breathe life into their life. Well, first of all, they're going to go intellectual, mental on you. They're going to try to engage you mentally. Say, no, just breathe life into your life. and then they're going to wonder what you're selling. Air. Most humans can't do it because they don't trust their lives enough. They don't know if they can handle a bigger life, a grander life. Why? They can barely cope with what they have right now. You know what it's like. Been there, doing that, done that. So they can't breathe life into life, but you can. You can breathe life into life and all the potentials. You realize how perfect everything is. Good to see you out here rather than back there. I was going to go get you and drag you out here this time. Can't hide anymore. You and I have an agreement. Well, I have it. You're going to follow it. You cannot hide this year. Could we at least have a fire in the fireplace? No bubbles, but perhaps a fire in the fireplace? You got your natural logs there. So, most people can't breathe life into their life. They don't want to. They're afraid of doing it. And quite frankly, if they did, it would cause such a tremendous tidal wave of change. They would have a difficult time handling it without popping off the planet. But you, dear Shambra, can breathe life into life. It's called Shadahar. Garlic in that dip. That's all right. I know the man that's made for this. I thought he was going to kiss me for a moment. That would have been something to write down in my life experience. So, dear Shambra, Cauldre didn't feel me before, and probably for a good reason. Oh, you want me to breathe on you, Gene? No, really. I will if you want me to. Beg me. Cauldre didn't feel me because, why? Because there's some other energies here today. I guess you should be proud of it in a way. But these other energies are not what you would normally have here at one of our gatherings. We've been fairly isolated for a while, but doing our own thing quietly, peacefully, without a lot of outside interference, but hard to stay hidden. You've attracted some attention from the outside. Literally, in the human form, there is a group, calls themselves spiritual, believe it or not, very spiritual, very arrogantly spiritual, righteously spiritual. You may remember what that's like also. But they've taken on the responsibility of determining what groups are good and what groups are bad. And this is not the group that I was invited to be with, a different group. A clue here. They use the word matrix, not in their title, but in a lot of their work. Well, they've decided that they're the judge and the jury, and they've decided you people are evil. Yeah. Breathe it in. So they've been doing their gatherings, their meditations, they call it, for you. Because they feel that this group is generating a lot of dark energy and creating an imbalance. Well, you are. The dark energy you're creating is really what you're releasing that no longer serves you in your life. The things that you didn't like about yourself, didn't accept about yourself, and the things that you feared. And you're releasing that. So to an outsider, it may appear like you're giving off a lot of smoke, dark smoke. But you and I know that when you release that, it goes back into a pure, natural state. They also think that you are a cult, that there is some message that you are being given and that you have to follow. I would say that would be just the opposite of what we're doing here. if there's anything that we're encouraging you to do is discover, to know, and to experience the God that you are. No rules. No rules. No methods. As a matter of fact, you have become the method busters, and therein lies the problem. This group in particular, doesn't understand how anybody could be spiritual without having methods and systems. Of course, at some of the inner energies, they have to continue selling their methods and systems. So, but they truly believe, how can any group not have this? How can you not have disciplines in your life? You should be disciplining yourself, Vince. You should be meditating X number of minutes a day and lighting candles and buying new systems and all the rest of this. So they are doing an energetic assault on us today. A deliberate, conscious, all-out energetic assault. On top of that, when they do that, they attract energies from the other realms, not necessarily directly associated with their group, but other energies that are attracted to the drama, saying, good, we're going to have a good old-fashioned psychic fight going on. A few of you felt this earlier, my dear.
I know.
A few of you might have experienced some feelings yesterday or coming up here, but a funny thing happens when we gather like this. We don't create a shield, because actually that's what they would want you to do. We don't create a white light encasement around ourselves, because there's no need to. Matter of fact, you, Shambra, you listening in, you who are tuning in even for the first time, understand, you just breathe it in with compassion. The psychic assault is no longer a battle or is no longer something that has to cause you to go into hiding. You breathe it in. It's just energy. Now, they're throwing the energy at you in a assaulting fashion, but you don't have to accept it that way. It's just energy. You breathe it in. The moment you do, you being an alchemist in human body, you transmute that energy. You don't even have to hang on to it. You just let it go. You let it flow out to your potentials, to the rest of the world, or whatever. So it's interesting that this is happening today. But here you are, just breathing it in. Here you are, just actually having that energy assist you. That's an important point, a very important point in this year going forward, well, rest of your life going forward, rest of eternity. You attract these energies. By the work you've been doing, thank you for the fire, by the work you've been doing, why did I want to fire? I love you. Who said that first? Do we have a prize here? Oh, that's right. You have to give me money.
Here. You have
kidding.
prizes. You have prizes.
Yes, here you go.
You have a Damas Award.
Here you go, an Adamus Award. Yes.
Susan said it at the same time. Fine, I have one.
You only have one?
I only have one, and I need one for my husband.
Here you go, my dear. Yes. Yes, the transmutation of the energies. So important. So, dear Shambra, let's take a deep breath and just bear that in mind. Actually, you're attracting it to you, and that's the amazing thing. Because you're starting to stand out. This is a very different than most spiritual groups. No kidding, she says. Did you call me master of the obvious? That's my other name, thank you. It's important because you've been kind of in hiding, low key, low profile over these last 10 years. Not anymore. And it's going to show up more and more this year. Be prepared for it. Others taking shots at you. You don't have to defend anything. You don't have to fight anything. It's just energy. You just take a deep breath. There's going to be those who are saying Crimson Circle, Shambra are doing all these things wrong, all these evil things. They're going to accuse you of all sorts of things. And it's going to push some buttons, individually and as a group. It's going to push some of your core issues. What are the core issues? What are some of the core issues? What could somebody say to you as a group or even as individuals about what you're doing? Yes. Money. Exactly. Yeah, you might want to be prepared with that. Money. They're going to accuse the group, the company here, of being out for the money. And the answer is, yeah. What's wrong with that? Of course, unless it's done deceptively or in an imbalanced fashion, but that would never be allowed, and it's not even a potential that any of you would want to choose. But that's a big issue, money. But remember, it's coming up for a good reason, because there is still a money issue within Chamber. I believe I heard from Linda that I'm scheduled to give a abundance seminar.
Yes. We're waiting with bated breath.
Yes, you are. So am I. Garlic and tea. Don't sit next to Cauldre at dinner tonight. I can tell you right now. So money is an issue. What else is an issue? Who said that? Mary, please.
Oh.
Control, absolutely.
Please what?
An Adamus Award.
Oh, okay.
Now, let me bless it first.
Oh, okay. Bless the bag. Here you go, bless him.
Yeah. It's already blessed by Mary, for Mary. So, yes, power and control. You've all been accused of it in the past. You've all led groups in the past. And to one degree or the other, that power and control is seductive. Oh, it's like Kool-Aid on a hot summer day with some vodka in it. It's very seductive. It's part of the sexual energy dynamic. And those who have power always want more. You can't get enough power. What did Tobias say about power years ago? It's an illusion. Thank you.
Is that an award
just
winner?
start throwing. Yes.
All right,
Yes, I
here you
believe
go.
Kathleen gets one. It's an illusion. There is no such thing as power. It's artificial, created in the angelic realms a long time ago, brought down to earth as one of the big pillars of how life is structured. But there is no need for power. Power is a force dynamic. And you are learning in this new energy, there's no need for force in anything. There's a natural flow that can be tapped into, but no need for force. There is no negative, there's no positive. These are all old illusions. So where was I? Core issues. Thank you. Thank you. Love the purple. So what are the core issues? What's going to push your button? Judgment. People judging you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why is that a core issue? Why does that hurt? Easy. You judge yourself. Larry gets an Adamus Award because because you know. Yes. The professor. Absolutely. But there's no mistake in it. You're doing it for a good purpose. You're doing it for a purpose. Yeah, there's a different way to do it, by the way, but you're doing it for a reason. The judgment about yourself, the critical nature. Somewhere along the line, you said you wanted to be the embodied God, and somewhere along the line, you confused that with having to be perfectly human first. There is no such thing as the perfect human. It's a goal you can never, ever, ever, ever achieve. Why? Because the moment you get close to it, you're going to figure out some new criteria for being perfect. You'll never be perfectly smart, thank God. You don't want to be smart. No, you want to be wise, intuitive. But you can't have the perfect body for more than about 3 to 5 years, and then it goes away. According to society. You never have the perfect job, the perfect mate, definitely not the perfect family. Need I say more? So, but it's a chase that people get into. It's a game that they play. It's never going to happen. Well, what another core issue? What can they, say? What are the core issues that others can say to you this year, because they're going to say it, what could really touch you? Pardon? Walking the talk. It's pretty close. Pretty close. That's a good... Pardon? Thank you. Gene gets the award. You've gone crazy. Yeah, these are all related, but you're going crazy. And that's probably going to touch you more than anything else. You're delusional. You're going crazy. You're off on yet another one of your programs, tantrums or tangents or anything. Particularly when they say you're crazy. Why? Why is that bothersome? Because it's true. I knew that other group would infiltrate. I didn't think it would be this quick. Yes, it really bothers you at the core because you wonder it at times yourself. Because actually, it is becoming true. But I'm going to put it into different terms. You're going out of your mind, and that's a good thing. You're literally going out of your mind because you realize the mind is a beautiful thing, but it's like a hard drive that's been pre-programmed. It's limited, and there's so much more. And every one of you can feel that. You know it in your heart. It's not about being intelligent or smart. It's about being the I am. The intuitive nature is quantum leaps ahead of the mind. The knowingnesses that come in, the ability to just energetically tap into the Akashic records, which are just a small part of everything. The ability to tap into mass consciousness and future potentials will never come from the mind. It comes from the body of consciousness, which is the physical body, the mind, the spirit, the nost, every part of you coming together. So when somebody says you're going crazy, there is that concern that it's put to you as you're being delusional or you're getting off track, or what a great way to put you down, because it immediately goes into your mind. And immediately you start to wonder, should I have stayed on those medications? And you are having stranger thoughts right now than ever before. True? But you get critical of those thoughts. Yeah, it's been happening for a long time. But look at him now. Look at him now. What a shining example. You've been having crazier thoughts than ever before, but you're still struggling with them, trying to correct them, trying to wonder where they're coming from or what's wrong with you. Nothing. It's just you're opening up. You're going out of your mind. The total basis of all your thinking changes. And if you're not willing to allow or go along with this change that's naturally occurring right now, what happens is the energies that are a part of this process literally will break down your old thinking processes. You don't need to do it that way, although it's quite a ride. But you don't need to do it that way. You just need to understand that the old mind is changing. It's expanding, and you're going far beyond. So your thoughts are going to be either crazier than normal. They're going to be harder to define than ever before. They're going to be more difficult to grasp or comprehend. That'd be a good way of putting it. Well, what's flowing through right now is very difficult to comprehend. And you wonder, what is all this? I know there's something flowing through. I'm getting these crazy thoughts, but there's something even bigger going through, but I don't understand. Why don't you understand? Because you're mental. You're trying to use your mind to figure out what is beyond the mind. By the way, you've been using your mind to try to figure out God for as long as I've known you, and that's a long time. You've been using a mind to try to figure out something that the mind cannot ever grasp, God. So what the mind does, it puts God outside of itself to try to understand. It puts it in heaven or someplace else. Puts it outside, so it can analyze and dissect and try to figure out. And you've been doing that for lifetimes, but it still doesn't work. It still doesn't work. They've tried to come out with some definitions, but it really doesn't work very well. It's one of the problems with consciousness today. People are they're not just buying into the old concept of God. They used to go along faithfully without question because they were told you're going to be burned if you don't. So they just went with it, but they don't go with it anymore. That's causing a huge disruption of consciousness, an earthquake. Did I just feel an earthquake somewhere in the world? I think I did. And I shouldn't use those words then. An earthquake of change going on in consciousness. So the mind puts God outside of itself and still can't figure it out. And then at a certain point, the mind starts really falling in on itself, or really starting to attack itself because it's angry, it's frustrated, it hasn't figured it out, so it starts turning on itself. And that's when you think you're going crazy, but you're really not. You're just destructuring. And evolving into the new mind. I'm so excited about this year and next year in particular. These are our prime years together because there's never been so much opportunity and there's never been so much chaos. They go hand in hand, don't they? Yeah. It's just energy. To some, it's going to appear to be chaos. Everything falling apart. To you, it's opportunity. So let's take a deep breath and feel into that. Pete, did you make a New Year's resolution?
No.
Did you make a New Year's resolution?
Yes.
What was it? Well, let's get the microphone over here.
To have no fear of anything.
Have no fear. Good. Excellent.
Where's
did
money?
you make a New Year's resolution? No. Did you make a New Year's resolution?
I did.
And what was it?
To live intentionally.
To live intentionally. Good. Any others? Any others? Okay, we'll try. No resolution. No resolution. Try Mary.
To stop hiding.
Stop hiding. Okay, good. How many made a New Year's resolution? How many did not? Whew, good. I love this group. I love it. I love it. If you made a New Year's resolution, throw it out, Mary. Throw it out. No, it's the old game. You put something out there. Yeah.
I made it today.
You throw it out anyway. You're going to throw out most everything anyway. So it does because it doesn't matter. It doesn't apply. It's anything. If you made a New Year's resolution, you're going to lose before you start, right? How many times have you made them and they don't work? Take a clue from most of the rest of the people here. No more goals. No more goals. They really suck. They don't work very well. Sorry, but they don't. I'll put it back on you since you're giving me that doubting look, Linda Visa. So, was there a goal with your new venture, the Awakening Zone? How did it happen?
Just allowed it.
I didn't hear that.
We just allowed it.
I don't think I still heard it.
We just allowed it.
You just allowed it. What you did actually was brought in a potential and became aware of it. You brought in the potentials because there was some, could I say stress that created the need to look at doing something different. True?
Yes.
Absolutely. So you because of that stress, you wanted change, and then you allowed it. What happens? Potentials that you've never seen before. We're always sitting there. Always sitting there. You created them. Those potentials suddenly came into view, and because you were aware, because you had some guidance, because you had a desire, suddenly they came in. There was never a goal. There was never a business plan for this new venture. There was a connecting into the consciousness of all of Shaumbra and all of the Shaumbras to be, all the little unborn Shaumbras. Very sweet. And so you connected into all that, and suddenly the potential was there, and you might have had a little fear about it, but you breathed it in, and you accepted it and allowed, because you knew that potential was yours and all of you. So it suddenly starts manifesting, and that's where it gets fun, because that's where, is that not right, Michelle? That's where it was fun. The long hours, the working with the old energies that are out there, but learning how to work with them effectively. Learning that banging your fist and that getting angry and blaming it on others just doesn't work very well. But taking a deep breath and realizing it's all just energy. Taking a deep breath and realizing it's energy there to serve her. Yeah, you there to serve her. You there to serve her back there. Taking a deep breath and realizing it, and then it starts another flow. It starts, it goes beyond, it truly goes beyond what you ever thought you could have done, because you were thinking about what you could have done. Suddenly you realize it really works. It has, yes, a degree of what you would call challenges, but pretty soon those challenges are no longer challenges. They're buckets and pails and train loads of energy just waiting for you. Then it gets fun. That gets amazing. And then because you don't really have an agenda in the outcome, in other words, you haven't predetermined how it should look in the end, you're just letting your creation take on its own life. And you're breathing into it. You're not trying to control it, direct it, manage it. You're just breathing yourself into it. And then you're just letting it expand. The joy of creatorship is when you let your creation go. Think about that don't think about that. I hate when you think. Feel into that for a moment. The joy of creatorship is when you create something and then let it go. It is still yours. But you don't have to control it. That is bliss. Just watching it and feeling it grow, letting go of the agenda or the expectation, but just letting it go. Oh, that's what you call God, the Eternal One. What's the greatest joy the Eternal One has ever had is letting you go. Letting you go. Letting you experience anything you wanted to experience, Edith, and having total joy in it. Yes. Not trying to control you. God wouldn't want to try to control you. No, God wouldn't. And you wouldn't let God control you. No.
This God would like it.
Yeah, but there's no control. There are no rules coming down from spirit. There's no destiny. God doesn't have an agenda in the outcome. Spirit doesn't care. Doesn't give a damn. We're going to get into that in a little bit. I do want a song. We started it when Hannibal was here before, but Spirit doesn't give a damn. Now, I say that, and energetically, this other group is going, one that's here to, see, I told you. See, they want to use things like that. God doesn't care. Well, that'd make a great headline. Yes. Group believes that God doesn't care. Nothing matters. So, what a strange group. Yes. They must be crazy, and they must want your money.
Do you really have to supply them with the headlines?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Well, I'll write the headlines. I'll write the damn story for them because it's just energy, and it's coming your way. And you can unwrap it from its ugly little container that it's being delivered to you in, but it's just energy. They say something bad about you, David, and they will. Drink it in. Yeah, eat it up. Yeah. Yeah, you say that now, but oh. So, dear Shambra, so expect it this year. Expect them to say, you're out of your mind, you're crazy, you don't know what you're doing. Prove it. Give me your credentials. What are your credentials? Kathleen, what are your credentials?
Just be me.
Thank you. Absolutely. I am that I am. It should be on your business card.
And therefore I shall always be.
Exactly. Don't muck you this up. I am that I am. You're going to just put a big turd on your business card. No, just keep it clean. I am that I am. I am that I am. So, dear Shambra, let's take a look at this coming year. Before we do, though, I want to make one comment. New Shambra symptom, new awakening symptom. The biggest one, yes.
Actually, I have some questions. Some of the things Adonis has said. You're Adonis, right? So some of the quotes that Adonis has made.
Yes.
I mean, this is my first time here, but
I am that I am. I don't know who I am, but it's very confusing.
Well, I mean, I'm familiar with
I could be these dark forces.
Archangel
just
Raphael. If you
through.
could validate that,
Yes.
please validate that I'm acquainted with Archangel Raphael.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
True. You validated it.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
Doesn't matter.
To you, it doesn't matter? Okay, so anyway, the point is, it sounded like there were new Earths outside of this one.
Yes.
And they're elsewhere in space?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, so it's all the new Earths are encumbered with this Earth?
No.
So you're not giving a straight answer?
I am. The new Earths are not necessarily physical, but they have energetic attributes of this physical planet. They have some of the consciousness attributes.
So
They're
new
not
realms for this creation as Earth exists in its physical form?
the new Earths are not in your physical universe. That is just one sliver of all the dimensions. So
they're those who refer to Earth as their home that are leaving?
Yes.
What if I don't want to leave and it sounds like a crazy idea and that you're manipulating people
I am.
into believing things that are good when you're actually removing them and or their ancestral descendants from creation.
Oh my God.
And so when you're
hang on.
when you're talking about credibility and
we're going to
people
remove
calling
all
us
the
these people
ancestors.
crazy.
As long as I'm here, I will remove the ancestors. That's
well,
the biggest.
no, it's not okay with me. You have no authority over me.
Oh no,
or
I
my
don't.
ancestral
But I'm
descendants
going to
or-
tell you
yeah.
how your ancestors are just totally.
Because I know them, I speak with them, I abide with them, and so I'm on your par and feeling beyond.
Right.
And some of the things you're talking about, Adonis,
Yes.
is concerning, and
Yes.
these people are sort of lost in delusion. And
Absolutely.
So I'm validating.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. And I'm actually.
I'm from a whole sentence and talking straightforward to you about it. It's just like, I don't get why an applause would come from that understanding or comment. That you're deluding and alluding to things that are unfortunate for these people and their ancestral descendants.
Yes.
Because this is their home, and
Yes.
you're suggesting or implying that angelic beings were taking it.
Let's do it.
Which I disagree with.
Which is fine. Let's do audience poll. Everybody has. Well, you don't have free will, but you're getting it back. I'm sorry, but they don't. That'll really annoy you.
Well, that's false.
Yeah.
You may have maligned them as true human beings.
Right.
But when you aren't a true human being, in the sense the human being inherited your life and you're let beyond and they're lost in the mire of beings telling you what's right and stuff,
Right.
I mean, I just see that.
Yes, and I hope that irritates you, that
And
you don't
I'm
have
sort
free
of-
will.
Maybe I'm delusional myself, but I'm abiding
No.
with the being who is birthed into this body.
Right.
And basically, you've shut him out of his life and you're living it for him. Why can't he learn and reveal the wisdom
I have to
to
tell
us?
you this, Chris. The moment this channel's done, I'm out of the body.
I mean, it's
I
I don't
have
channel,
no
but I
desire.
abide with many beings. This is from a constant walk-in.
Yes.
So it's like I have information that makes yours sound like evil.
It is. It is.
And it's like...
It absolutely is. Depending on how you're viewing it.
So in the sense that you're owning it and will identify as being labeled evil accurately, Adamus.
Yes.
I mean, unless you're just...
What is
games.
evil? What is evil? And before you do that, spell evil.
It can be anything, any number of things based on the process of evolutionary circumstances. Even if it's an evolution revolution, where evil is just a balancing...
Look at evil backwards.
Martyrdom.
Look at evil backwards. What is it? What is evil energy or dark energy?
So you're confusing the truth, and you're manipulating reality by...
No, actually, Chris,
expanding the scope of
I would like to aggravate, stimulate, inspire, get people angry. They've all been angry with me before. Most of them still are.
Not answering the questions is acceptable,
Yes.
but I don't need to carry on the dialogue with you.
Yes, because we could get very intellectual about this. Let me boil it down to this.
Not with me. Not with me. I'm done with my question. You haven't answered
Oh,
it.
no,
You
no, no.
seem to be avoiding it, so...
It's no.
I asked you a question. You're not answering it.
So I said at the beginning, there's an energy that shows up here. It's loved and accepted. There's no a feeling of assault. There's a feeling of wanting to get into an intellectual discussion. Those don't matter. The only thing that matters is the I am that I am. You are God also. You are God also.
Delusion. You're talking about delusion and illusion. And
You see how instantly we manifest these days? So
So they're all in with you?
I hope not.
Or do they get sent to some other
I
Earth?
hope not.
They can't call Earth their home after they die? Is that what it is?
They can come back as often as they want. How many want to come back? A few. Not a few. Absolutely their choice. Absolutely their choice. Yes. Or they can become, I don't like the word so much, Chris, but ascended masters. And all that means is the acceptance of your sovereignty, the I am that I am. Beholden to no one, no belief systems, no desires. I'll get you on this one. Purpose is machio. Any purpose, any passion, any goal is old energy. It's an old way of thinking. Now, in my opinion,
This isn't your home.
I've lived many, many lifetimes on Earth. And no, actually, I don't so much care for space aliens. I've had some encounters.
You're from outer space, right?
Just like you are, if you put it in those
that
terms.
You're representing.
Yes.
It's not your life that you're representing.
No, it is my life.
No, the human being who inherited the life that's is alive as a human being, but blunted from experiencing his life and living it fully on his own.
You would have to ask his
as a true
partner.
Human being.
You'd have to ask his partner on that. When in the new energy, Chris, when an entity comes in to speak,
what about moral and ethic?
They come in very quickly and then they get out.
With no moral ethic associated with human behavior, energy is just like a manner of who's the best criminal, who can take it the best way with no moral ethic, if it's free and it's just energy.
Good. Okay, now hold that thought. As I mentioned, please, you may want to tune out here.
No, I don't turn out.
Okay. As I mentioned before, this is what you can expect this year. And there's going to be those who call you evil, those who say you're in it for the money.
Them. It's the people
My
who are
turn, not yours.
true selves.
Not yours. Those who say that you're in it for the money or the control. What it comes back to is the amyo. Amyo is the state of acceptance of yourself. No one else. No one else. Trusting yourself. No more. No more. Trusting yourself. breathing in the I am. So, okay, let's continue. 2011, there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be a lot of destructuring taking place in the world. You're reading about it in the papers already. Caldra asked me to address this issue. You have birds dropping out of the sky, fish dying in the water, and it's going to continue to happen. It's going to continue to happen. Tobias spoke about it many, many years ago when he said that there are a lot of species that are going to leave the Earth. There's going to be some concern that it's global warming or an alien plot or things like this. There's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories going around about this. Calder asked me to address it. What's happening? Well, there are species that have been on the Earth for eons of time that have been part of the energy of Gaia. They have been serving a purpose, keeping an energy balance. Their time is up. They're not choosing to be here. And more importantly, they're making room for new species. So what's happening? There are new energies coming in from the other realms, not just from outer space, but from the other realms. These are literal new energies. Nothing like the vibrational energies that you've experienced in the past. So it's not just a bigger volume of old energy, they're brand new energies. They come in literally on light frequencies, but in a spectrum that you can't necessarily see with your physical eyes for the most part. But I've been talking now for quite a while saying that you are going to start seeing lights in the sky, both day and night, lights that show up. These aren't going to be like alien spacecraft lights. They're not going to be little objects moving around the sky, but they will illuminate the sky. There's been some examples of them already, and this isn't the northern lights. These are going to look different. When these new energies come in, essentially reforming themselves to ride on light waves, it tends to create a shock for a lot of these beings because it changes the magnetic properties that are in the air, that are in the earth. The magnetic properties that keep a balance of things happening on earth, keep things held together. So when one of these energy beams or energy waves come in, literally, instantly throws off the magnetic forces, which particularly birds and fish are very sensitive to, how they do a lot of their guidance and a lot of their memory, you could say, is on these waves of magnetics, throws them off, creates such an overwhelming trauma that kills them. You're going to see more of it. It's not just going to be with birds and fish. And by the way, it's not going to happen all over the world at one point. These are beams that happen to come in at different times, different places. You're going to start seeing it with other species as well. And there's going to be those who start saying it's the end of the world, the apocalypse, that they're going to start blaming it on all sorts of conspiracies. But just for you to understand that it's appropriate. It's part of new energy coming in. Is it going to strike you? Is it going to throw you off? Probably not, because actually the human magnetic system and how the DNA relates to magnetics is actually not as sensitive as an animal's. However, that being said, your DNA is much more complex than what any scientist, what any researcher even knows about. Your DNA is very complex. It's blossoming right now like a flower, opening up to reveal parts of itself, parts of your encoding that have always been there, but have been closed down. So, in a sense, the timing is perfect because these new energy waves come in, and they're not really going to affect the old parts of you or the old energy parts of you. They're actually going to stimulate and inspire the new parts or the unfolding parts of your DNA. That's where you can breathe it in. Instead of worrying about the fish and the chickens and the penguins and everything else, that's where you breathe it in. Instead of putting on some type of protective bodysuits or having to get crystals or jewelry or a trinket that somebody's selling you to resist or repel these waves, you just breathe it in. It's your energy. You created it. New energy, not vibrational, but expansional. It's here for you. 2011 is going to be a very intense year. We talked about it in our session from last week. Very intense. Things out of the ordinary coming up in your lives, pushing your buttons. It's going to be very intense, but yet familiar, because these are things that you've been going through. 2011, going into 2012, is going to be the best time ever for any of you. The best time ever to do something new. We've talked about it many times. There is more energy available to you now to do what you want to do in your life. More energy that's coming in. It's going to throw old systems off, but you've already gone through that. You've already experienced it. So now you can breathe in those potentials. It is the best time ever for you. Tobias started talking about this several years ago. He said, don't hide right now. Yes, while it seems that everything might be destructuring around you, it's actually just energy. Just energy. When somebody gets mad at you, when somebody accuses you of something, when somebody leaves you, it's just energy. And it's all appropriate. All appropriate. Best time ever to be creative. Best time ever to laugh and to enjoy life. Let me get back to something I was talking about before. What's the biggest Shambra symptom right now? Awakening symptom that people are going through. Biggest one. That's right up there. But that being said, my dear, you and I have had a lot of talks. You are successful. You've proven success. You don't need to just wonder about it. You have proven success. You went off into some different paths for some very good reasons, and you have a perception of being broke. You're actually not. You're actually doing quite well. But, my dear, you have incredible talent. You're I don't want to say strong. You are determined. Determined. What an opportunity now to this year, next year, to do it.
Can you hold me under the water?
I'm going to.
For a little while?
Yeah, just a little while. Just 12 minutes or more. So it's an incredible time, but this ties into the most common Shambra symptom, awakening symptom that we're hearing right now. And what's that? Oh, what we hear more, procrastination was as close as I heard. What we hear more than anything, Shambra saying, what am I supposed to do right now? Number one that we're hearing, what am I supposed to do? And then it's like, well, I'm broke, so I can't do anything anyway. But that is such an issue right now. What am I supposed to do? And most of you here are wondering that. Not everyone, but a lot. What am I supposed to do? 2011 is a good year to discover it. You don't have to think about it, actually. You don't have to try to analyze it or anything like that. It will come to you if you're willing. It's a potential that is there. You've been asking the question over and over. What should I do? What's my passion? What's my truth? All of these things have been in a state of flux and evolution. So, because you've been going from an old energy consciousness into a new. And I had to be in this state of flux. This year, it comes to you. It comes to you. And all the energy to support it comes to you. This is the year where, how do you say, you hit the pavement, you put it. This is the year for you. Yes, I'm going to say this is the year of, I'm going to steal a popular, because I like to steal. This is the year of apps. Of apps. It's a social term being used right now. And the hottest thing in computers, apps. Applications. Applications. Your apps are different. First of all, it means apply. Apply it. But more than that, there are, to use a metaphor, there are new energy applications, a storehouse of applications that are available to you. New applications that will literally get you out of your mind and expand how you perceive and take in and use information. Apps that literally get you over poverty consciousness. They're your apps. You designed them, you built them. They're yours. Apps that allow you to, beautiful application, that allows you to be in Amyo and let your body heal itself. Can you imagine that? Your body healing itself. No outside help, no intervention. Your body can heal itself. And the app that allows you to just do a little breathing, have a drink of good tea. Usually I get coffee or Pepsi, and now I get tea. An app that allows you to just take a deep breath and say, dear body, rejuvenate yourself. I'm not going to interfere from up here because it's all Machio anyway. Rejuvenate yourself. Bring in energy that serves you. All energy serves you. Energy wants to serve the master. Energy wants to serve each and every one of you. There's an app, an application this year that lets you do that. You designed it, by the way. You created it. The app lets you finally let energy serve you. Rather than putting it off, rather than saying you don't deserve it, the app says energy serves the master. Yes. So this is the year of apps. So it'd be delightful for you to share your apps with each other. Freeware, shareware, or teachware. But this is the year where you start applying all this. Start applying the new energy into your life. You've been going through this transmutation of getting out of the old, bringing in the new. So, now, because we're such a highly spiritual and evolved group, I'd like to get on to the next topic. So, and I'm borrowing a little bit from Katumi on this. Katumi Lal Singh, another one of our line of characters. Very spiritual. I'd like 4 T-shirts this year. 4 new T-shirts. Yes, or bumper stickers, or but 4 new. The first. And you're good at this, Sarge. You can make up some. I see you glowing away right there. You two are striking a business deal. You're already putting it together. You're taking advanced orders before any of you leave today. Do I get a commission?
I don't see it.
I am the potential. Ooh, you'll get some people irritated, which is good. Irritation is good. You'll get some energy going. What do you mean you're the potential? I am the potential. I am the potential of your own life, of your own life. There are so many potentials floating around. I wish I had my little bubble machine, but imagine a bubble machine sitting here. Imagine me plugging it in and bubbles all over now. Can you imagine that? Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Bubbles everywhere. Soap on the floor. That's all right. They're virtual soap bubbles. So, potentials. Potentials more than you've ever seen them before. How do you attract potentials into your life? Breathe. That's good. That's good. But let me get a little more pragmatic, usually out of fear and desperation and suffering. Wanting to change. That's true. That's what stimulated many of the changes in your life. You're tired of the old way. So it brought you to potentials. A la Crimson Circle Awakening Network. And it wasn't a bad thing, but it was just the company saying, how do we reach out? How do we open up? How do we share? And it led to potentials that were really already there, but they weren't blowing out of the machine here, if you know what I mean. They were stuck, you have to imagine in this new energy. They're stuck in this machine. They weren't blowing out like all these bubbles are right now, just filling the room, right? So that's what a lot of your potentials are like. They're stuck in the machine. It's just the soap that's in there, and they haven't been coming your way as potentials. Be more potentials than ever, or let me say it a different way. You're going to be aware of more potentials. That's the good news. The bad news is the potentials that are coming your way that you're going to start being aware of, they're going to look different than other potentials. They're not going to have characteristics of duality in them. Duality, the old fight between light and dark. The new potentials don't contain duality. They don't need to. They don't contain good, bad, masculine, feminine. They're integrated together. So it's going to appear a little bit perhaps foreign to you, a little frightening. You're going to want to hang on to your old ways. There'll be a tendency to retreat, to hang on. I invite you to at least feel into the new potentials. You created them. They're yours. They have been in your field of potentials ever since you existed. Now they're coming into being. You're going to be perhaps a bit overwhelmed with them. There's going to be more than ever before. There is no right or wrong, by the way. A lot of times, Shambhar, you tend to freeze up. You say, I'm afraid of making the wrong decision. You are God also. You are divine being. You cannot make a wrong decision. Okay, so more potentials than ever. Back to the question, how do you attract potentials? How do you attract potentials? A lot of it's done through desire for change because you're tired of the old way. How else? Choose, but I heard the word over here. Imagination. Oh, you're going to have your hat full of these awards before the day is done. Imagination. Imagination is the ability to go out of your mind, to go beyond your mind. Imagination is not necessarily even understandable by the mind. When you truly imagine, you go so far beyond the mind that it can no longer interpret, comprehend, or analyze. That's pretty scary because you're letting go. You're letting go, but you're not, because you can feel into those energies and those potentials. You don't have to think into them. You don't have to analyze them as light and dark. What's right or wrong, you feel into their essence and understand that it's just an experience. Now are you ready to grasp it? You're ready to ride with it. So you attract potentials through desire for change, or by imagining farther than you've ever imagined, beyond the spectrum of color, beyond physical attributes. You expand into what we call, or imagine into what we call the crystalline realms. That makes you more aware of potentials, and it attracts. Very important point, as I'm standing here in front of the bubble machine, bubbles coming out everywhere now, all the potentials coming out. Big question comes up with Shambra. What if I miss a potential? What if I was supposed to win the lottery, you might say? What if I was supposed to get that call from a relative I never knew that was going to send me money, and I missed it, I wasn't there, and the answering machine was broken? Because most of your electronics are breaking down these days. So what happens? You miss the potential. David gets an Adamus Award, and
You afraid of my purse?
and a hug, and a hug, and a hug. Thank you. Yeah. So it comes back around. You never lose it. So let's say that bubble coming out of the machine goes out there and pops, snaps, falls to the floor, supposedly is a soap. It's not lost, dear friends. It's actually, the potential might have temporarily gone into a different dimension, gone out of existence. By the way, it's very much like physics. There are particles that go in and out of awareness, or out of what would seem to be the physical reality, but then they come back. They all come back. You can't miss a potential. It's one thing that you tend to fear. What if I miss it? What if I have to be in the right place at the right time? You are the right place and the right time. So relax, take it easy, take a deep breath. That potential will absolutely come back. Potentials cannot be destroyed. They cannot be destroyed. It leads to an interesting philosophical discussion. Can new potentials be created? Yes. No, we have a greedy man over here. Until recently, I would have had to say, no, you cannot create new potentials, but you had so many to choose from, it didn't really matter. They're underutilized. But recently, you actually began a process of creating new potentials. You had to, because every potential that you had before, with the exception of one, every potential was basically from old energy duality, light versus dark, masculine, feminine. So every potential that you had was created from that. There was one potential, one little soap bubble in there that was called new energy. And it's always been with you. The history of your soul, it's been there. But it didn't come around until recently. That potential for new energy has now basically given you the potential for more potentials. It's a genie, you get 3 wishes, but this one, you get as many as you want. You're creating them. These are your potentials. It's your life. You do with it what you want. These are your potentials. So let's take a deep breath with that. You are the potential. You are the I am potentials. So, next t-shirt. Ready, start? I am that I am. Let's rhyme, please. I am that I am because I don't give a damn. Now, there's a lot of people that really their hair is going to stand on end if they saw you wearing this t-shirt, but go ahead and do it anyway. I am that I am because I don't give a damn. Dear Shambra, when you give a damn, You literally block out the I am. It's hard for a lot of people to accept that when you make the statement, I don't care. Spirit doesn't care. Well, we have to care. Well,
Just for the sake of translation, does I don't give a damn mean the same as I don't care?
Similar.
Just for translation.
Similar.
Just for translation.
Similar, but they can all be lumped into the same category. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Hello. Tobias's favorite words from the pyramid, the Great Pyramid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Humans get caught in the giving a damn. Matter of fact, it becomes part of their reason for living. They have to care about something. They have to have a passion. They have to have a mission and a cause and a purpose. It keeps them going. It keeps them very righteous. Ultimately, in the true I am presence, it doesn't matter. It really does. I don't give a damn. It doesn't matter because it's all in perfection. It all works out. You are God also. You stop struggling with it. Stop caring about it. Now, this also, again, it would upset a lot of people, but I don't give a damn about if fish die, birds fall from the sky. Really, you don't have to take it on your shoulders. You don't have to save the dolphins or the whales or the fire ants or, well, yes, poor fire ants or the bed bugs. These are not your causes. These are not your causes. And actually, when you get cause-affected, when you think you have to take on every cause, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel important. You're saving the world. You and Lancelot saving the world. But actually, it really just adds to the duality. It adds to the old issues.
Is Jeffrey hearing what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. So I am that I am because I don't give a damn. I am that I am because I accept all things as they are. All things as they are in their perfect state of being. What a shocking T-shirt to wear out in public. People say, well, you should care. You should care about politics. You should care about the environment. No. Because actually you're going to be more effective in a potential change of consciousness by not getting caught up in the drama. By not getting caught up in all the drama. So, that's another one. I'll do the third T-shirt later before I leave. But with that, dear Shambra, there's 4, yes, but I'm only going to do 3 today. 1 I'm saving. So, dear Shambra, we'll have a few minutes for questions and answers. Be delighted to take them since we already have been taking them. But it's been a year and a half since we've actually really done questions and answers here. But you have a lot of questions about what's coming up. So I'd be delighted to take a few.
Now?
We can wait till midnight.
Thank you.
Yes.
With all the bubbles that are happening, with all of the potentials that are floating around,
Yes.
How do you know which one to choose? It's like there's so many, and sometimes it gets confusing.
Yes. And the answer is?
When
I said we were going to do questions and answers. I didn't say I was going to answer them. Yes.
Well,
I would like to know the answer to that.
Actually, I got it, actually.
So you've got all these potentials.
And actually, the answer did come because...
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, it will.
Yes.
Others will pop and one will appear.
Yes.
And that's what you move forward on.
Exactly. And
Thank you.
You can choose whichever one you want. And actually, I would encourage you to run the gamut because instead of saying I'm going to pick the biggest, most golden, opportunistic potential, try them all. It's beyond 31 flavors, and you're not limited to just one. You can actually experience multiple potentials simultaneously. You don't necessarily do them all here in this physical reality, but you start experiencing them. You realize right now you're also dreaming while you're standing here very wide awake. There's also other parts of you and other dimensions that are very active. They can, through you, they can also start experiencing the potentials.
And the bubble machine never stops.
The bubble machine,
And one bubble goes
you can create the illusion that the bubble machine is just spitting out one bubble every once in a while. But it actually never stops.
and one bubble can float you to another. And,
Absolutely.
And expand into another.
Absolutely.
And there could be bubbles within bubbles.
Absolutely. Brilliant. And
It can be. Thank you.
that is the joy of life.
It can be actually fun.
That is the joy of life. And no bubble can hurt you, believe it or not, because you don't give a damn. Things can only, things can only hurt when you give a damn.
Nice.
Yes.
Which,
You're not doing
the
very
scarf
well.
too?
Too warm for a scarf,
It
thank
is
you.
actually
But
warm in here,
it is
too.
warm in here.
Thank you.
Yes, there's a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but I would like to try the hat. Yes, thank you. Well, doesn't. Yeah. He's got a big head. Yeah. So, excellent answer. Thank you. Yes.
Next question.
The purse is broken.
Good job.
So, okay. So, next question. Great. Yes.
I'm here. Creating my own reality, our own reality.
Yes.
Once we get a potentials, we decide that's what we want, then things don't really turn out the way we thought they were supposed to, or
Yes.
they were the way we want them to.
Right.
And we're always wondering, well, if it didn't go that way, maybe that's what I created.
Yeah.
But other part of
That's
ourselves
what you
says,
controlled.
one side says, well, if you didn't go that direction, that's maybe because you created. The other side says, no, but I really wanted to go that direction.
Right.
So there's their constant struggle, and
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes. And that's a excellent observation. And the answer.
And the answer is probably that we don't have to give a damn about anything. Just
In a way, yes. In a wonderful way. Does it really matter, other than to your human aspect, does it really matter if you create something, does it matter which direction it goes in? No. Not really. Ultimately not. It's the joy of expression and creation. The disappointment comes when the human aspect attaches a value or an expectation and says it must look like this. How about trying open, free creation? Without expectation, because I just don't give a damn. I just have fun creating and letting it open up and expand, letting it go its own way. Now, you have an interesting opportunity then to watch how this creation, with your breath of life in it, just starts taking on its own life, which is part of your life, its own flow and patterns. It doesn't have to be patterned into the mind or the human expectations. It's, in a way, far grander, far broader than what the mind could imagine. That I would say would be one of our biggest challenges this year, is to go on beyond what has been limited in the mind. To go with the mind, of course, with the entire body of consciousness, but to expand. Thank you. So try this. Particularly with the energy so high and so strong right now, try this, a creation, and then just letting it open up and expand without controlling it. Just letting it go. Be like taking a little toy sailboat and putting it onto the lake. And instead of saying, you must go to the other side, or you must go to the island, and trying to force it with your telepathy and your ESP. Just saying, it's my creation. Where are we going to go? And then watching it and understanding all the time it's going to take its perfect journey. Perfect journey. A journey that could lead it through experiences, that could lead it through stormy waters, or to get beached, or, God forbid, struck down by lightning, or birds falling from the sky. But that's part of the beauty and the wisdom of your soul, to watch how this unfolds without worrying about bad or others or anybody harming it. You never have to worry about that again, truly. Truly. So, good. Next question. Thank you, Andrea.
Nobody wants to raise their hand. Anyone?
Hi, Adamus. How much influence did you have in the recent publication of Mark Twain's unabridged autobiography?
Yes. And the answer is? Let me just say, it was time. Actually, I didn't have to influence anything because I really don't care. But there's no, the potentials meet the energy at the appropriate time and place. So when it is time, it comes up. It's actually a good point, because there's going to be a lot of things coming up this year, literally from the ground. You talk about WikiLeaks, no matter what you happen to think about it, it's just a vehicle for things having to come out in the open. Things that have been hidden, deceptions, lies, they have to come out. They have to come out. You're going to see a lot of it this year. Some of it's going to be a little shocking to you as a human, but shocking to the organizations that are being exposed. That's going to cause even more conflict and controversy. That's going to add fuel to the fire for this whole transition into new consciousness, a consciousness of I am. So, excellent. Good question. Thank you, Jean. Good answer.
Hello. I'm having difficulty with figuring out what is my feeling or what's going on with me versus picking up somebody else's energy. How do I differentiate that?
Yes. And the answer is?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
No, you have to know.
I do?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why you picked up the microphone. Because you already know.
I don't think I do.
So I'll ask you. I'll pretend that I'm you. I'm Trish, and you're Adamus. And I come to you and say, I just don't know. What should I do?
Well, I don't know.
Yes. How do you know what's yours? I'm asking the question. I'm you.
I understand.
I don't know what's mine and what's mass consciousness. There are so many thoughts going around. There's thoughts in the room right now. There's thoughts coming from cities and in the air, and they're everywhere. I have no idea what's mine anymore.
That's how I feel.
No, you're supposed to be Adamus, wise and sage. And you say something smart ass.
Right.
Yeah. You say, I don't give a damn.
I don't give a damn.
Good. And I don't give a damn. And I'll use this also. It doesn't matter. And actually, the only thoughts that are yours are the ones you choose. Everything else is not yours, including the stuff from your aspects, your past life, your ancestors, everybody else that's flowing through the city, the airports, government politics, the aliens, and bad angels. They're not yours. You're being bombarded with them right now, and mine too. You're being bombarded with all these energies. The only ones that are yours are the ones you choose. There are psychic manipulators everywhere. Deliberate psychic assaults that will try to get you to think that you have bad thoughts. It doesn't matter, but sometimes it's just fun having it matter. There are groups that are literally assaulting human consciousness with energies. This group I was talking about before literally calls themselves a spiritual group. and they also work under the banner of heaven. It's a big banner sometimes. But they philosophically do not think that humans are wise or smart enough to handle their own sovereignty. They don't think humans can be God. They think humans still have to learn. They think there's something inherently flawed with humans. Therefore, they need control, structure, organization, leadership, and hypnosis. They're deliberately sending out signals on a constant basis, and you're receiving them. But what? But why? But why? So you let these signals in that you're not worthy, you're not ready, that there's something flawed in the human nature, that you've done wrong in the past, and you carry that around. This group considers themselves highly spiritual. They talk about the matrix all the time. The matrix is flawed, and you're part of it, and they're going to save you. It's on the rug, Susie, not on the floor. And so back to your question. The only things that are yours are what you choose. What you choose. And you can choose anything you want. You can choose to have crazy thoughts or weird thoughts or anything else. But the only things that are yours are yours. And, with that being said, I will do the third shirt now and one later. Because it leads to that issue. Third shirt. Ready, start?
I'm ready.
You don't own them. You're just helping bring them out.
Just helping everybody out.
For 2011, this is highly spiritual sayings on T-shirts. Be wise. Be wise, minimize.
Hell's going to have to freeze over for me.
It will. Oh, yeah. And then you're going to come back and say, Adamas, hell's frozen over. What do I do? And what am I going to say to you, my dear?
You should have listened to Jeffrey.
I would never say that. You should have listened to me. What I'm going to say is, you caused hell to freeze over. You can thaw it out. I got myself into my crystal, my prison. I got myself out. So that's what I'm going to say. Be wise, minimize. You're carrying around all these extra thoughts that really aren't yours. They really, really aren't. There's this game that goes on in the mind that it must be me. It's an aspect game, isn't it, Andra? It's an aspect game. It's mass consciousness. It's hypnosis. It's all this crap, and it's not yours. It's not yours. That's why I have challenged you and irritated you, I hope, to get rid of some of the belief systems. They're machio. They're excess baggage. This year is going to be so intense and fantastic, but major intense this year. All that spare baggage is going to actually, you either let it go or it's going to get torn away by you, but not by the conscious you, by the smart you. So be wise, minimize this year and next year in particular, because there's all these energies that want to come in and serve you, that are ready to serve you, my dear. They can't find their way in if you've got all this clutter and all this junk that you're carrying around. Physical junk, emotional stuff. Some of you, not you, Elizabeth, not you at all, but some of you have old wounds, and you're hanging on to them like they're a badge of honor. These scars, emotional scars, let them go. They're really not yours anymore. Or put them in the fire, transmute them. We need another log in there. Our transmutation fire is getting a little thin. We need to build a big fire for alchemy. And it scares the spooks away. No. So, take a look. I'm going to ask you to take a look first at your your physical, the elements around you. How many of those utensils in the kitchen do you really use? How many nutcrackers do you really need? Not your collectibles, but how many egg slicers do you really need? How many? Just take a look. Look at what you've accumulated. Look in your closets, at the clothes. Look in your garage. Look, this is, I'm sorry. We shouldn't have brought this up, but this is the time you want to let those things go. Let those things go, because there's going to be enough energies going on this year. And also, when you have this accumulation of emotional, physical, energetic junk, the new stuff really can't come in very well. It waits. It patiently waits till there's room for it. So it stays away. Minimize this year. Minimize your, what you would call your logic, your way of thinking. You've had a very old patterns in the way you analyze situations and you think. Tends to be kind of like a maze. The mind likes to make things complex. Why? Well, and then it has a reason for being there. So it creates complexity on purpose. Simplify it. There is a simpler method of thinking. Anytime you have a problem come into your life, particularly in this next month, stop for a moment. Don't just go back to the old way of thinking through it. Feel your way through it. That old way is very cluttered, very energy inefficient. It consumed a tremendous amount of energy and then gets you very tired. And then when you're very tired, you still sometimes have the tendency to go out and steal energy from other people. And you don't need to, because it's all within. It's all right here. 2 more questions, and then we will do our 4th shirt.
Yes. Anybody? They're afraid to ask. Look what you did.
No. In the back.
How do I know if I'm talking to you?
Yes.
Or some crazy lost aspect?
Yes.
Or an alien or Mark?
Right. Oh, right. Right.
Or Sart.
If it has a Swiss accent, it's probably Mark. And your answer is?
I don't give a bleep.
No, next. Your answer is, how do you know whether a being that's hanging around is an ascended master or a schmuck, a dead schmuck? How do you know it's me versus Linda?
I feel like it's what I tell myself at the time, and I guess sometimes I let it be what it is, and sometimes I get sort of lost. And why
let's go back to
coming?
some basics.
What's that craziness from? You know what I mean? Like a crazy thought or...
Let's go back to some basics. You're God. You are sovereign.
Indeed.
So you are the chooser. Or was that George Bush?
Oh, he's the decider.
He's the decider.
Absolutely. But the same thing. So you're the chooser. So here's an interesting thing. The mind plays tricks. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know if it's Adamus. I don't know if maybe it's Katumi. Maybe that was the thing today. This is really Katumi pretending that I'm Adamus. No, I would have said namaste. It would have just slipped. I can't help myself. Exactly. So how do you know? Because when you in the state of Amyo, you have complete trust. When you choose, that's exactly what you're going to get. It's what you're going to get. If you're choosing to be confused, as a lot of people actually do, I just don't know. I don't know the answer. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Well, that's exactly what you get. And then you're really confused, and you don't know who's talking. You don't know what's coming through. You don't even know what to believe anymore. When you choose, who do you choose to be connected to dialoguing with? Mark? And then you two can go in the back room for a while.
Well, I'm like, do you speak English when you're talking to me, or?
Absolutely not.
That's what I figured.
French.
So it's me telling me myself what you're. I think you're. Am I interpreting what you're?
When I speak to you, not when Caldra's around, but just you and I, we use no words. You and I. The angels don't use English or French or anything. Some of them do talk French, but not enough. But we speak in feeling and energy. There is no need for words, and actually words are really distort, really limit a message. I can share with you from the heart without saying the words something very beautiful. But then I have to boil it down to words, I guess. So your mind can understand it. But I just sent you a very message. So, and if you let yourself receive it, you'll know what it was, but the mind comes in and says, well, I'm not sure if he really said he absolutely admires me, but I did. But in a very beautiful, honoring namaste kind of way. So, so dear Shambra, it is time, we'll do one more question very quickly, and it's time for our fourth shirt.
There's a hand over there.
You're the only one, my son.
Wait.
Question,
wait.
and you get to answer it.
I do get to do whatever I want, actually. But I'm a little bit concerned about what I'm hearing. I may be interpreting things wrong. But I welcome you here with good intent. And if you are good, I maintain that welcome. If
I'm neither good nor bad.
And it has to do with what is true.
Your question would be?
It has to do with what is true. If you are good, I welcome you here. If you're not welcome here.
Adamus, or Tobias.
Adamus. And Gregory needs more freedom to be himself. Or is that his name, Jeffrey? Gregory? That's our opinion.
Yeah.
And so, we respect true human beings.
Yes.
And the question isn't so much a question for you. It's the question, what are you going to do if it is true that you are evil and I give a damn? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so if it's true you're good and you're in good terms and you would actually suggest that people care about the birds and the fishes of this creation, then that would be an indication you're good. But disregarding such things,
evil.
To me,
yes.
Based on the whole of what you're communicating,
yes,
sounds
and
evil.
let me, I will answer your question, and we've got 2 minutes.
It's not a question. It's more of an invitation.
When Caldra, Gregory, Jeffrey, is asking me to share this, when Tobias first came to Caldra years ago, 1997, first came to Caldra, and of course he wasn't a channeler, wasn't necessarily spiritual at that time, but suddenly Tobias shows up to Gregory, Jeffrey, Caldra, whatever you want to call it, on an airplane, makes his presence very known. Right away, Jeffrey said, are you from the light or from the dark? And Tobias's answer, which I guess could be on another T-shirt, was, you have to decide. If I tell you I'm from the light, how do you know I'm not lying? If I tell you I'm from the dark, I'll scare the hell out of you. So you decide. You decide. Am I light or dark? Am I evil? Am I good? Does it matter? Is it an old game of duality that humans keep playing? Separation, division, light, dark. At the core of all things, my dear friend, my dear son, I underline the word son, if you get what I mean, that there is no light and dark. Done. There is no light and dark. Fourth shirt ties in perfectly. Fourth shirt. You ready, Sart? All is well in all of creation. Therefore, let's have a celebration. And I am that I am, Adamus of Sovereign Domain. Adios, amigos.